Alright, so I'm going to try to do this, but this is a Echo SRM 266. The guy said it's locked up. I'm going to try to do this. I mean, he isn't kidding. This thing is not budging. Let's see if I can move this right here. And I can't move this either. I can't even move I can't move any part of it. So we're going to try to take this thing apart. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? But we're going to try to take this thing apart and see if it's something caught in the flywheel. A lot of times the key could be sheared and it could lock it up, which could be the reason that the shaft's not even moving. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll take it apart and see. All right, so I kind of got it carried away and I didn't record, but so here's the cylinder, you know, the spark plug wire and everything. Took off all these parts. Sorry for the mess. I've been doing weed eaters all week. Took the flywheel off and then took the 4 bolts out. So a lot of times these bolts will be rusted, and you know, there's different ways to get in there. I don't know, the safest way is not to use power tools for me. I just use an Allen wrench, and then I take a pair of vice grips, and so I put the Allen wrench in, and then I take a pair of vice grips and I kind of break it apart. That's the best way for me. Using power tools, you're just going to strip these out because these are already rusted, the heads. So anyway, so I took this cylinder off, and as you can see, it's the same cylinder. It's still, we're going to have to get all that. You can't probably see that, but we're going to have to get all that rust off, and or the buildup. Sorry, the buildup. We're going to have to get that out. Let me make it to where you can actually see that better. Okay. Yeah, much better here. That's bad. That's barely any room for some air to come out. We're going to have to get on that. But we still don't know if that's what did it. But here's the cylinder. And so it's stuck. I mean, it's locked up. I can't do anything with it. I mean, it's I can't move it. I've tried. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some WD-40, spray it in there, and then spray this right here. This is a blaster, and I'm going to fill this up. Small engine tune-up. And get it all the way to the top. Now I already had some of this in there. It's WD-40 and the mixture of this blast here. So you got WD-40, and I'm just going to let this stuff sit and let it start working its way in there, and by hopes maybe it will loosen up some stuff. Maybe it just had water in it. Maybe it's not broken pieces. I really can't move this to see what's in there and why it's not moving up and down. So, and like I said, I move this as hard as I can and nothing's happening. So I even tried it with you can see where I had little places right there where I tried to use the grips here. I couldn't get it to move, and I can't see in there to know if it's pieces moving around, like some of the rings, the clips maybe got stuck in there, but it's not moving from that position. So, and I already cleaned off some of this, by the way. So I'm just going to let this sit overnight, and I'm going to come back tomorrow and see what I can do. See what happens. Okay. All right, we're back, and we're going to see if we can get this. You see, none of it dissolved. I don't know if you can see in there. None of it dissolved. So it didn't go anywhere. It stayed at the top. And now we're just going to try to move this. Oh, I might have to get some vice grips here or something. It's moving. Let me just work this. Oh, we got some movement here. We got some movement. I'm going to move it back and forth like this. Oh. And I can't believe this, but this is moving. Oh, it gets released. I can't believe this. Look how shiny that is. So it's moving. I mean, it's all the parts. It's still kind of rough. Yeah, there we go. So maybe, I mean, it was really, you can see you can see the rust. I don't know if you can see that. This is hard to get this camera angle because it's still kind of, the head's still kind of rusted up. I'm just working it. It's got some resistance. It's supposed to be very free. But you can see the rust that's coming out of here. Ugh, it's strong. But I think this might be all right. See the cylinder, I mean, the piston is actually, there's no rough spots. I mean, there's some blacking there, and the ring moves. Maybe too easy. Maybe the ring moves too easy. Is that a crack? Nope. Not a crack in there. You can see how shiny it is. This actually, I don't know, it's still kind of got some, move from this end. It's still got some sort of catching right here. Oh, now I got it. Here we go. This actually might work. I didn't think this was going to work, but it may have just got some water in it. I mean, it still got a catch in it somewhere, but it's not anything holding it locked up. It's not a ring or the little clips that are in the bottom. I still want to pour this out and look at the bearing. So let me pour this out. And pour out in a safe glass here. Hold on just 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna release this. All right, I'll be back. Let me just pour this in a safer container. What I've got. So we got this back, and this is no longer red. This is brown. It may have just had a ton of rust. That may have just been what it was, because let me look in this and see. Now that I can actually move it and actually see what's in there, that's really clean now. Well, that stuff really works well. All right, so I don't know if you can see down in there. Probably not. Let me get my flashlight. But there's actually some brown spot. I can't get in there to see. I don't know if you can see at the very bottom. It's actually like a brown. Let's see if you can see over here. But anyway, there's brown at the bottom. Looks like gunk. I'm going to clean that as well. But everything else looks good. This may actually work. You can see how nasty that is. That's brown from rust. And this just may have been a product that got water in it. We're going to try to put this back together and see if it actually will run. But so basically we're just going to put we took the gasket off. I forgot to show that. But the gasket's here. And you could put a new one on if you want. I'm going to try to use this old one. Just remember which way it goes. Put your 4 bolts back in. I'm not going to take this piston head off, although it is, you can see the rust that's in there. It's pretty nasty actually, but yeah, that's why it wasn't moving freely. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. See that? Pretty rusted. We may get away with being fine. Let's see if it catches like it was earlier, because it was catching a little bit. It catches just a little bit, but I think with some oil might be okay. All right. So we got we may have the one piece fixed. You know, looks pretty clean, but still doesn't solve the other problem. And there's probably more problems with this. You look how rusted this is. There's still some magnetism there, but this is rusted really bad. The only way I can really say to get that is just rub it really well. Some people have used sandpaper, but the problem with sandpaper a lot of times is you might get some sand, depending on the grit, in places you don't want. Make sure you use a very fine grade if you're going to do that, but this is going to have to come off and get replaced or fixed as well. That's pretty bad. Let me go ahead and, well, I don't have the right one with me right now, but yeah, that's disturbing. But the main problem is, of course, this. So we're going to have to sort of come up with a way to now fix that, which, all right, let me look here what we got. Again, hopefully, I don't know if you can see that. Let me back up here. Again, sorry for the mess, but this is why I don't use power tools, because when you get stuff rusted like this, it'll just strip that out. It'll force its way to get this thing out. And this rust, that's right. I mean, that's just using that, and it's rusted on there, right? And I'm gonna have to hammer that off, and that's not even coming off. All right, sorry about the camera, guys. I just can't touch it. Oh man, this is pretty bad. So what I've decided to do is put a spark plug in the top of the cylinder. I'm going to put this thing back. I'm going to put it in, let's try this way. Doesn't have to be tight, just hold it. That's all I care about, just holding it. I want it level. That's better than what it was, I think. Okay. I'm going to use the same concoction there as I used before. I don't know if you can see that. Hmm. 1, 2. Fill up this hole, exhaust port, best as I can. Because what I want to do is I want to pour more of this in and let it be actually soaking that back part up. So I don't know if you can see this. You see how it's rusted? I mean, not rusted, but it's caked up, even on the back part there. So I don't know if I can show you guys, but yeah, all the way back there, and that's actually sharp. Like I'm sticking my finger. That's the back part of the exhaust. That's where the exhaust comes from the cylinder through the exhaust. That's sharp right there. I mean, that's going to cut your cylinder. That's pretty sharp. You don't want that right there. I can feel how sharp it is right now. So what I'm going to do, again, apologize for the camera, but my hands are so greasy I can't touch the camera. I'm going to pour some more of this concoction in here. And it's going to probably leak out, which is unfortunate. Put 40. It's also going to clean the cylinder. Now, I'll leave this one overnight and see if somehow we can plug this up better than what it is. It's still coming out there. But my main goal, again, is to get that cylinder cleaned up, because if you don't get that, it doesn't matter how well this came out. You know, it doesn't matter how well this came out if you're not let's see if I can actually go to this real quick. This turned out really well. I took the air hose, so you can hear the compressor going off, and I just cleaned out all the debris, and I'm going to clean it off again several times. But what we couldn't do before, we can now do. We can now make it go up and down. I clean the top with, see if I still have it. I may not have it anymore. But I just took an SOS pad and cleaned off the top of the piston. And I'm going to use probably, you know, a lot of people are going to say, hey, that'll scratch it up. But at this point, you know, I'm just trying to get some of this off. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But take an SOS, clean the top of the head right there. I may use the same tactic to get the rust and debris out, but that exhaust port has got to be cleaned up. So we're going to come back in the morning and see if it's if anything works. But I think what just happened was we got water. Somehow they got water. I mean, you see all the rust. It's almost like they left it out in the rain. Because let's see if I can. Well, that's a lot of rust. And here is the flywheel. And I mean, it's gonna have to be cleaned as well. It's just caked up. So come back tomorrow, see if we get that working. But so far so good. I mean, we may actually have a running 266 that we got for free. All right, quick video of what I was doing. So I emptied out all of the concoction that I made, and you can see how nasty it is. And then I took the SOS pad right here, and I decided to clean the bottom, the SOS. Just took my finger and ran the SOS to clean the top of that head. But the most important part, I don't know if you can see this, but right in there where the exhaust port, I wanted to make sure that it was smooth to touch. So I took just a flathead and then scraped it. You can see how clean it looks now compared to the way it did. Let's see if I can get it. There it is. You can actually see all the way through. There's no more gunk. I took this knife and I kind of went side to side like this on both sides to try to make sure. Went back over it with this, and I just want to make sure that it's not sharp right there, because your piston is going to go again. I want to make it sure it's really smooth. I don't have a parts washer. If I had a parts washer, I'd been able to do this much easier, and I would just put the whole thing in the parts washer, but I don't have one. That's something I need to invest in. But just a quick video. See how much cleaner it looks. That's the spark plug, and then once I take that out, and then just get this, that's the main part. Get this nice and smooth to where it's not cutting the piston. All right, now to put it back on, reinstall it, and see if this works. All right, so we're back. I took some Echo 2-stroke oil, got it on my finger, and rubbed it all on the side here and inside the cylinder there. And I made sure to put the ring back, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that close enough, but right there, you see that little dot? Make sure that your ring gets back there and the gap's right there. I'm using the same gasket, which is probably a bad idea, but right, let's just see. And we know that the flywheel goes towards the trimmer head and the spark plug comes towards me, so it's going to come in like this. All right, let's see if this works. Kind of force it in there. Then we're just going to take our 4 screws that we didn't strip. Well, I have to get the other one, but just tighten these guys down, and then we'll be ready to put all the flywheel and everything back. The starter goes here, so we'll put the starter back, and then we'll put the flywheel back, the clutch, and then just see what we have. All right, so we got this thing here put together. I took the Brillo pad and cleaned off this, tightened these down. I'm not sure if these are the correct. I used the old conventional cardboard piece, but I don't know. But brand new spark plug, air filter. I think I got this set up like it. I don't know if I even have the right air filter, but all right, let's try this. Let's hope for the best. Let's see what we can do. It'll probably be a smoking for a minute there. All right, let's try to choke it. Uh-oh. Oh, I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe that just worked. But yep. Hope this helps anybody that thinks that they have a seized up engine. It's not always not unrepairable. Thanks for watching.